And if you just kind of like get cheeky and jump at somebody and hit them with like neutral special, 1, 2, up special for like kill confirms. You can do things kind of like that. So very, very good. Up gamers, we're back with another Multiversus guide, and I was gonna do Morty, but I started playing Marvin in the middle of me playing Morty and was like, yo, wait a minute, I really like this character. Forgot how much fun Marvin the Martian really is, so I decided to like kind of put the Morty guide on the background, and we're gonna do a Marvin the Martian guide for Multiversus. I know a lot of people were wondering about some of his combos, if he's a good character and things like that. A lot of people have a lot of questions about Marvin, so I'm just gonna make this guide, have some gameplay videos, show you how he works in 1v1s and 2v2s, and hopefully that helps out the people that are really interested in Marvin the Martian. So let's just start off. One thing I do want to note, Marvin the Martian is actually really fast. Like, believe it or not, Marvin has some very good like base stats in terms of speed. Like, his movement is very good. I just kind of wanted to say that to start it off because he isn't like the biggest like combo kind of character, but he does move really fast. So let's just kind of hop into his abilities. So I wanted to show Marvin's passive because I kind of always start these guys off with showing their passives. Marvin only has one passive. I know there's some characters with like 4. Arya, but Marvin only has one passive, and it's the fact that he can walk while crouching. Like this. That's it. This is Marvin's passive. It does really shrink his hurt box, but he also walks really slow, so it's really used more of kind of like an in-game taunt kind of thing. But that's really just about it for Marvin's passive. A lot of his other like ability or like I guess you could say passive things come with his specials. So let's start off with Marvin's grounded attack. Marvin's grounded neutral is basically a bubble, and when you shoot the bubble, it's a slow moving bubble. When it hits, it pops opponents upwards, and that's really just about it. But one of the crazy things about this bubble is this is Marvin's way of reflecting projectiles. So basically, if Marvin's neutral special hits another projectile, as you can see right there, it absorbs it and shoots it forward. And it only works on smaller projectiles. So a very good thing to have for Marvin. So like I said, that's basically his reflector, and it only reflects when it's on cooldown. So if it's not on cooldown, you don't get the reflect bubble. You get a smaller bubble that doesn't travel as far, and this bubble does not reflect because the bubble's on cooldown. So it only reflects when it's off cooldown, and you get the giant bubble. So that's kind of like Marvin's reflector. Another good thing about that bubble is, as you can see, you can actually jump and angle it, so you can jump and shoot it downwards. You can shoot it upwards. On the ground, you can shoot it upwards. You can even shoot it downwards on the ground, kind of like that. Very good. When it's off cooldown, as you can see, it doesn't go as far. Very good like approaching option if you want to approach with a projectile behind you, so you can kind of like jump at someone and press like down special, neutral special, just like that, aim it down, basically like cover yourself in certain situations. And the fact that neutral special does pop up, as you can see, it basically gives Marvin some pretty unique combos, like just kind of like hitting neutral special into down air, or even just like regularly hitting neutral special into down attack, and just kind of like covering yourself with neutral special. It's a very good move. I don't recommend jumping in with it. That's just kind of if you want to. I definitely recommend using it from a distance, because from a distance it just kind of pops up and you can just kind of like dash over and get those confirms. But if you are up close and you manage to hit it up close, you can get things like neutral special into up air, or you can jump neutral special. Jump neutral special into up special. You just kind of like get things like that, as you can see right there, if you jump in on opponents with it. But if you space yourself and just kind of like wait from a distance, shoot it from a distance, they kind of like get pulled in. You can get things like neutral special into, not neutral special, I keep calling it neutral special because it's a projectile. I'm sorry about that. You can get things like neutral attack into forward air because it pops up. Just things like that. You can get like neutral attack into neutral special, which is the button, which like ground bounces. So it's very good for like having extensions and basically like extending your combos and having like a really good neutral tool to basically just shoot out from a distance and lets you combo your opponents. Very good for Marvin to have. Just kind of like remember when it's on cooldown. You can't combo it into itself a lot. Just if it's on cooldown you can, But you just kind of like do things like that, like neutral special, but you have to be really close. And I think that'll about do it for Marvin's neutral special. Like I say, it's a very good like approach tool if you're trying to like run in an approach. But just remember, when it's on cooldown, the hitbox does not last that long. And if you just kind of like get cheeky and jump at somebody and hit them with like neutral special to like up air, that's also really good. But since it's a slow moving projectile, most likely you'll probably get hit for jumping at opponents with neutral special. Another good thing about this is it's very good for like reading air dodges. So if you forward air someone, a lot of people like to air dodge after forward air, so you can like forward air them after they air dodge, neutral special like that to catch the air dodge. So that's a very good thing you can do. And like I said, up close you can like kind of chain multiple of these together just like that to like get pretty cool ladder combos. So Marvin has some things you just kind of like have to take that risk because they don't come easy to him. So that'll do it for Marvin's neutral special. Let's talk about his forward special. And once again, sorry, because I realize I keep calling it neutral special simply because it's a projectile. Most characters' neutral attacks aren't projectiles, but it's his neutral attack. Really sorry about that. So Marvin's forward attack, which is his jab. As you can see, it's a 3-hit jab. 1, 2, 3. And the last hit, he shoots a projectile. This projectile goes pretty far. It'll bounce pretty far. As you can see, it'll constantly bounce. And what it does is it knocks opponents in the directions that it's going. So if you hit them from above, it'll knock downwards like that. And kind of like give you a ground bounce, which is where I say the collateral damage comes in at. And if it hits them like from the bouncing angle, it'll knock them upwards. Another thing about this projectile, this has really good KO potential. So like in 2v2s, you just kind of throw this out from a distance, let it bounce, and just kind of like use it to control the stage. Another good thing is like it does combo from jab if your opponent is holding in. The sad part is if your opponent is holding away, it does not combo from jab. But at those higher percentages, you can use it to get kills. So it never hurts to just kind of like mash this out, especially with you having button to reverse the gunshot if it happens to miss. So like if gunshot happens to miss, you can simply just reverse it with button and use it to control the stage. Kind of like that. Very good thing for Marvin to have. Another thing about his forward attack is the 1-2. You can actually combo from this. So you can do some pretty crazy things with Marvin's like 1-2 jab. So if your opponent is like DIing in, you can do things like 1-2 down air, kind of like that. You can do things like 1-2 up special for like kill confirms. You can do things like, let the rocket shoot. You can do like 1-2 neutral attack, kind of like that. You can do 1-2 up air. Just his 1-2 jab is just very good. And the thing about this is, if you're, like I said, if your opponent's DIing in, you get some pretty crazy things. 1-2 forward air for kind of like forward air chains. And this is only if your opponent is like holding in. Usually in 2v2s, a lot of opponents hold in, like I always say, because a lot of people aren't expecting to hold out. But in 1v1s, a lot of people take into account that they're getting hit and they DI outwards. Another good thing you can get is 1-2 neutral special for the ground bounce for extensions like that. Very good. You can even kind of like loop opponents with the neutral special ground bounce, because you can do 1-2 ground bounce down air. Oops, sorry. 1% might be too high. Percents are definitely too high. Let me kill Shaggy. So you can do things like 1-2 into another button, kind of like that. So very good. You can do 1-2 down air into neutral special into 1-2, kind of like that. Very good for looping opponents. You can also, like I say, combo off of the neutral button, just kind of like 1-2 neutral button into forward air. You could do 1-2 neutral button into side special, 1-2 neutral button into down air. As you can see, like Marvin slides pretty far with his air dodge down air. So you can do a lot of things like that. You can do 1-2 neutral special into air dodge up air. Very good. One of my favorites to do is 1-2 neutral special into air dodge up special. And the reason why is because, like I say, neutral special kind of ground bounces like that. So it's very, very good. You only want to use neutral special at those medium percentages because at lower percentages, it doesn't have enough knockback to like ground bounce opponents really. So at higher percentages, you either want to go for the straight jab or you want to go for the 1-2 forward air for like stage control or like dodge reads. Or you can go 1-2 down air if they're DIing in, and out of down air you can hit forward air. Also out of down air you can hit the neutral button. Out of down air you can hit up special. You can just hit a lot of things out of Marvin's down air. Marvin's down air is really good. So like I said, that works if your opponent's DIing in. I also want to show what happens when they DI out, because like I said, a lot of opponents will be DIing out simply because they don't want to get comboed. So Shaggy is basically set to DI away. And you can see how far he flies back after the first 1-2. So basically that makes it hard, as you can see right there, to get the 1-2 down air. Because since Shaggy's DIing away, he gets knocked back so far. So what you have to do is you have to go 1-2 button. So that's where your button extensions are really coming in clutch, because when your opponent is DIing away, you can hit them with 1-2 button. And then even if they're starting, even if the percents are too high, you can even do 1-2 dodge cancel into button to kind of get combos like that. So Marvin still has some pretty good extensions even at higher percentages if your opponent's DIing away. You just have to dodge into button just like that. So that's what I wanted to show off if your opponent is like DIing away, because a lot of times they will. Because Marvin's moves really kill if you're DIing in. If your opponent's DIing away, they'll live your moves for a lot longer. So like I said, if your opponent's DIing away, you'll just have to dash and jump button. That's it. Basically dash, jump, button. Just kind of remember that. So 1-2 dash, jump, button. And that helps if your opponent's DIing away. And you still kind of get those crazy confirms. So you're just 1-2 dash, jump, button, dash into up special or things like that. Or just kind of like 1-2 dash, jump, button, forward air. So wanted to show that off for if your opponent's DI away, simply because a lot of times they might. So you just have to be ready to read the DI with the dash jump so you can get those follow-ups. Kind of like that. So that'll do it for Marvin's forward attack, which is his jab. I know it took a lot, but you kind of use this move a lot. You will definitely use this move a lot. So let's go to Marvin's down attack. Marvin's down attack is absolutely crazy. This move just goes in. Marvin's down attack, he pulls out his laser and he shoots out a string. The hitbox on this laser is pretty far. Let's see, maybe red line? I could have hit from further away. Yeah, as you can see, like the hitbox on it is very crazy. The fact that you can hit from that far right there. Also, if you notice, the laser is purple, and that means that it breaks armor. So like I say, this is a very good armor break move. And it's also a very good kill move because the lockback on it is very good. It also lingers for a really long time and covers a lot of space. So you literally like just throw this move out on the edge and cover so much space on the edge from so far away. Like if your opponents go low, you just kind of like spam this, make them afraid and like let them slide down. And then you just kind of like dash off and then like dash jump off and then down air. So you kind of like have that option. Very good for Marvin to like be able to do. Very good to like cover ledge, just kind of like down attack at the ledge. You'll see me doing this a lot because like I say, it covers a lot of space. It does cover a lot of space simply for free. Also, you just kind of like sit at the ledge. As you can see, like you see how far it hit Shaggy from, and you just sit at the ledge and just kind of like throw this move out. Even if you're trying to whiff punish opponents, you can like dash back and still do it because it covers from so far away. So if you feel like your opponent's coming in, you could dash back and then laser, because Marvin's dash goes really far. As you can see, like Marvin's dash is not like a baby kind of dash. It goes really far. It's kind of like a Joker dash. So you just like dodge back and laser. So it's a very good whiff punishing tool. You can also dodge through people and laser because you see the range is crazy. So once again, like if you feel like somebody's about to jump at you or you want a good whiff punish, you can just dodge through, laser like that. Or if you don't have anywhere to go, you can even like dodge back and laser that way. So just remember, this move is very good, covers a lot of space, and very good for like if you knock your opponents off stage and they have to recover low. because you literally just kind of like sit here and just kind of like throw out the laser, and your opponent has to get back past this. And it's a really hard move to get by, and if they wait too long to get past it, then you just kind of like jump and down air, because this down air is also the laser, and the hitbox on down air is absolutely nuts. So that'll do it for Marvin's down attack. Let's go into Marvin's up attack. So Marvin's up attack is the blaster. If you have the sticker equipped, you can aim this, as you can see, and the up attack has some pretty good knockback, kind of like along with like his up air, but his up attack has some really good knockback, and at lower percentages you can do things like jab, jab into up attack, kind of like that, to like kind of knock opponents up. It's very good for sniping opponents at the top of the screen. I don't think I have, wait, Rocket should knock Shaggy up, because it goes all the way to the top of the screen. So very good for sniping opponents at the top of the screen. You just kind of like throw this out, hit them at the top of the screen if they jump into it. Very good. Also, like, it hits like you kind of like, if you have the aim, you have to like aim it to hit opponents that are on you, simply because this hitbox is not on his sides. Like, your opponents have to be like running into you for you to get that hitbox. But other than that, it's going to be pretty hard for you to hit opponents that are like standing next to you. Just very good for like anti-airing opponents that are above you. Very good move to like cover those airways, especially like for characters that like jump above you. You just kind of like get to aim at them, and then as soon as they dodge, you basically hit them with the dodge read. So that'll do it for all of Marvin's attacks. That's neutral attack, which is the bubble. See, I got it right this time. Attack, not special. His forward attack, which is jab. His down attack, which is the laser. And his up attack, which is the blaster. Yeah, we'll call that a blaster. So let's hop into Marvin's aerials. Marvin's aerials are really good. Also kind of like where he shines. Simply because there's one aerial right here. Forward air. Forward air absolutely goes crazy. You'll see a lot of Marvin spam this move. You'll see a lot of Marvin use this move. So let's just kind of hop right into it. His aerial neutral attack is the bubble in the sky, just kind of like how the bubble is on the ground. No different. It still has the same properties. Still knocks opponents upwards, as you can see, like that. So that's how you get kind of like the bubble to bubble chains. But no big difference. Still knocks opponents upwards. You could, like I said before when I was showing off the ground neutral attack, you can jump at opponents with the aerial bubble, kind of like that, to kind of cover yourself. That's if you want to approach. But that'll do it for his neutral attack. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special. It's basically just his grounded neutral attack, but in the sky. So let's talk about his forward air. So Marvin's forward air is absolutely nuts. It's the big boot. It's the kicks. It has some pretty good knockback. It does not kill until like later percentages. Mainly if you'll be getting a kill with this, it'll be when you knock an opponent off stage. One thing you want to do with this move is when you use it, you want to kick and float back. Simply because getting forward air combos is very good, but at higher percentages when your opponent starts to like DI away, as you can see, like Shaggy DI'd away, you don't really get those forward air combos. So you have to cover dodges with forward air. You'll basically just be like kind of covering dodges and approaches with this move, and basically knocking your opponents off stage constantly and making them waste their resources, unless you kind of like go off stage and go crazy and get a forward air in like the blast zone, like near the death box. Then it really does work. At lower percentages, it can be used as an extender. So you can do things like 1, 2, oops, got the dash. You can do things like 1, 2, dash, button, forward air into like another forward air. Things like that. But it'll really just be used to knock opponents off stage, read their options when they're off stage, because you can charge it, and basically like make them waste their resources trying to get past this move. Like basically if they're going to go low, basically if they're coming at you from like the same height, you'll use forward air to knock them off stage and kind of force them to either go high or go low. And if they choose to go low, you basically cover their low recovery with down attack, because like I said, the hitbox is like the hitbox stays out for so long and it's pretty good launch. So you basically like forward air them, force them to go low, so you can sit at the ledge and kind of spam down attack and get kills kind of like that, or you force them to go high where you can cover them with up attack or up air. So that'll do it for Marvin's forward air. Pretty good move for keeping opponents out, pretty good move for like reading the air dodges and basically like putting opponents back out and making them waste their resources. Also, as you can see, like if your opponent is holding in, you get forward air combos and chains, but if your opponent starts holding out, then those forward air chains aren't real. So for his down air, this is probably the aerial you'll be using the most, second out of forward air. Marvin's down air is basically him shooting the laser downwards. This has crazy range, like it hits from really high up. Let's see if I can get the max distance. Like it's really hard to get the max distance, but it hits from really high up. Really hard for really hard for characters to punish this move, because you just kind of like jump above them, throw it out, and if they get hit by it, they get bounced up towards you for things like down air into forward air, or you can even do things like down air into up special, just things like that. So like kind of like jumping at opponents or jumping above opponents and down airing is very good, because like I say, it hits from so high up, it's really hard for people to punish it. So like you can kind of like double jump down air. If you miss, you can air dodge away. You could double jump down air and follow forward air. You could double jump down air and side special to like get out. You can just kind of like mix up your recoveries with double jump down air. And as you can see, like it hits from so high up. And also you could do down air into button kind of like that for extensions. So down air is very good. Very good for combo extensions, very good for comboing. It's a very good combo move because you get a lot of good kill setups out of down air. So that's what you'll basically be using down air for. Like I said, it's a very good neutral tool, very good for like keeping your opponents at bay, very good for extending those combos, like just very good. It's a really good move. Like his down air is almost as good as his down attack, which is very crazy. Another good thing about this move is it's good for spiking, because you can kind of like throw it off from the ledge, because the hitbox is really big. Also very good for spiking opponents, because the hitbox is not only just like the laser, but since Marvin shocks himself, the hitbox is also Marvin too. So like when somebody's hanging on the ledge, they have to get past like Marvin and the laser of the down air to get back. So it's a very good spike also, and it hits really hard because the startup on it is like really crazy. So that'll do it for Marvin's down air. Like I say, you'll be using this a lot in combo extensions and things like that. Marvin's down air just kind of like goes nuts. Very good. One of his best moves. One of the best down airs in the game too, because it's so disjointed and it hits so far. And not only does it hit far, it hits really hard. So that'll do it for Marvin's down air. As you can see, like it hits really hard. So that'll do it for Marvin's down air. Let's talk about Marvin's up air. So Marvin's up air is basically the same as his up attack. It's basically a blast upwards. If you have the sticker, you can aim it. You can't hold it forever and charge it like the ground one. So you kind of got to make a decision really fast. But you can aim it if you have the sticker, and it basically like shoots upward. It has really good knockback, as you can see right there. So it's very good, especially like with air dodge, like with dash cancels, like out of jab. So going like dash jab, not dash jab, but jab dash up air, kind of like that, to like get those up air extensions. Up air is really good, and basically what it does is it covers opponents above you without you having to commit to like basically jumping into them and throwing out a hitbox. That's one of the best things about Marvin, the fact that he has so many moves that allow him to like poke or go for like kill attempts without you fully committing, because they have so much range. I mean, like up air goes basically almost to the top of the screen when you're on the stage, and it goes up really high. So like even if someone's like trying to edge guard you, you can kind of like hang on the ledge and shoot up air to like kind of like deter them from getting from the ledge. So up air is very good. If someone's going above you, just kind of like jump and like spam these up air, jump and spam up airs. So that'll do it for Marvin's up air. Like I say, very good. Has some pretty good launch to it. Basically used for hitting opponents at the top of the screen And if you can hit an opponent at the top of the screen, the knockback on it is really, really crazy. You can get some pretty early kills because it just simply knocks straight up also. So that'll do it for Marvin's aerials. We've talked about forward air, we talked about neutral air, down air, and up air. So let's hop into Marvin's specials. So Marvin's specials are kind of like when he really, really shines because he has some really, really tricky specials. His neutral special is the button. As you can see, he presses the button. And doesn't look too crazy, does have a hitbox. The hitbox does knock downward, so doing things like forward air, not forward air, but doing things like jab, jab, into button is very, very good. Because as you can see, button just kind of like ground bounce sets up for combos. It's going to be very rare you're just going to run at somebody with button. Because the hitbox is very, very small. So you're like, well, is it just a combo extender? Button is not just a combo extender. Button is actually a reversal. So any projectile that Marvin has out, if you press button, it reverses the projectile. As you can see right there. And it's very good. You could use this for like if your projectile misses or your opponent jumps over your projectile, you basically just kind of like reverse it back to you, and it works with all of his projectiles. And what you'll mainly be using the reversal with is basically you'll be using it with jab, so like reverse jab, or kind of like how I said Marvin's neutral special absorbs projectiles. Well, it even absorbs his own projectiles, and he can reverse his own projectiles. So you could do something like shoot out neutral attack and jab will get pulled into neutral attack, as you can see right there. But you can also, with the help of the button, reverse it, as you can see, and bring it back. So that's one thing you could do. You probably won't be getting that set up a lot, as you can see, because it takes a lot to set up. I'll be showing a freer setup when it comes to his side special, because he does have a better setup and a lot easier setup when it comes to his side special. But that's what button does. Button basically reverses the projectiles that Marvin has control of on the stage. And yes, that does go for a lot of his projectiles. It doesn't go for up air or up attack. I don't think you get to reverse those. It would be kind of crazy if you could, like just kind of like jump up, shoot up air, and reverse it back down. Yeah, it doesn't go for those. But his jab, his neutral special. Oh, the reversal's on the cooldown, of course. But his Marvin's cooldowns are really, really long. You gotta remember that. But his neutral attack, you just kind of like reverse that, and also his side special and up special. So that'll do it for his neutral attack, his neutral special. Like I say, just remember it reverses projectiles, and it's also very good as a combo extender. Kind of like that. So very, very good as a combo extender to get those combos. Basically out of jab 1-2, so 1-2. Oops, didn't get my dash jump. 1-2, button, kind of like that. So that'll do it for button, which is his neutral special. Let's talk about his side special. So Marvin's side special, he pulls out a laser and he fires an energy ball forward. It doesn't go too far, but this blaster hits opponents and drags them towards Marvin. So it's very good for combos, because you can do things like blaster into jump down air, kind of like that, or you can even do things like blaster into jab. This blaster has a really, really long cooldown. So sad part about it is once it's on cooldown, you get no other moves to replace it. You just don't have a side special on the ground while it's on cooldown, which really does suck. It takes a while for it to come back, but the like utility of it is very, very good. Like it just hitting your opponents and like dragging them in towards you is a very, very good thing to have, especially like if you're not trying to approach. Like I said, it doesn't go too far, but here's the thing: you can set up neutral attack and shoot side special into neutral attack to have it go further. Sad part is it doesn't drag all the way towards you, but it does let your side special go further. And like I said, with the button, you can set up neutral attack, side special, and use button to reverse it. So that's kind of like I say, like a lot of Marvin's utility comes out of his specials and the combination of his specials. You won't really get a lot of these combinations together simply because a lot of it takes a lot to set up. And as you know, when you're in the middle of a multiversus match, you might not have the time to set up all these crazy combinations or use all these crazy moves. So that'll do it for Marvin's side special on the ground. In the sky, he gets a completely different side special. In the sky, he gets a move that helps him recover if you don't want to use your up special. As you can see, it launches him pretty far. It hits opponents away, as you can see right there. In the beta, this move used to combo, so you used to get things like side special into like jump forward air, but now they just kind of like changed the knockback angle on it, so now you just knock opponents further away. Very good for like getting like dodge reads, like you could side special someone and then basically like punish their response with another side special, simply because of the angle that it knocks. So you can like forward air, and when somebody's coming back, you can side special again. When they air dodge, you can side special again, and basically like keep pushing them off. That's kind of like one of the things that Marvin has is like really good, is basically like being able to side special and forward air opponents to like kind of like knock them off or make them recover low so you can hit them with down attack. So that'll do it for side special in the sky. Also, one thing to note about this move is you have a lot of maneuverability. You can side special and go forward, as you can see, or you can side special and like kind of like drift back. As you can see, you can even like drift upwards. So very, very good. You can even like drift downwards, kind of like that. So very, very good for Marvin to have like kind of like mix up his maneuverability when he's trying to like recover. One thing to note is when you hit your opponent, you will bounce off of them. So even if you're going down and you hit an opponent, you'll bounce off of them and go up. So it doesn't really matter what angle you're going. If you hit an opponent, you'll go up. But like I said, it's very good for like mixing your recovery off stage. Basically either like going fully forward to try and get to the wall, or pulling yourself back using up special. Marvin's got some very, very good maneuverability off stage with side special, his up specials, and things like that. So that'll do it for Marvin's side special in the sky and on the ground. Like I say, on the ground, it's a blaster that pulls enemies towards you, very good for combo potential. And in the sky, it's a headbutt. That's very good for like knocking opponents away and getting them off of you, or basically just kind of like spacing your opponent out, since you can like drift back or go up and down with it. Like as you can see, like the maneuverability with this move is kind of crazy. Like it just kind of like bait them out, kind of like that. Very, very good move for Marvin to have. Sad that it doesn't combo like it used to, because before you could just kind of like space with this move, and if it hit, you got like a full combo from it. But now it's just kind of like a spacing tool, knocks your opponents away. And knocking your opponents away isn't always a bad thing. It can be a pretty good thing, especially if your opponents don't have a good recovery. Because if they don't have a good recovery and they have to go low, they get hit by down attack. So that'll do it for side special. Let's talk about Marvin's up special. I absolutely love Marvin's up special. I call it calling the homies, because he basically just summons his rocket ship. And as you can see, there's a red line that follows Marvin. That red line is the way that the rocket will shoot from the ship. So what you'll see a lot of people do is call up the ship and basically run at your opponents. And that line is the threat of the rocket. Your opponents will try and escape it because the rocket does have a lot of launch. So let's see, Shaggy's at 95. If we put the rocket out, I believe it might actually kill. Almost. Shaggy's pretty heavy. So like you can imagine like light characters or characters that aren't expecting to get hit by this move in DI. That's why this move is so good in doubles, and it's so good in ones, because in ones it just kind of like gives you that pressure you need, because you can do things like set it up off stage and basically have it cover the entire stage, and your opponents kind of like have to dodge through it. But if you're pressuring them, they don't really get to dodge through this easily. So you can like set it up off stage and run at your opponent, pressure them with buttons, pressure them with movement and things like that. If they get hit by rocket, they most likely die. So that's one of the best things about rocket. As you saw, I had the purple light on it, so that means it also breaks armor, so your opponents can't armor through that. Rocket's just a very good move to use. And you might be saying, well, rocket's really, really slow, so you can't set it up off stage and expect it to always hit. That's where we go into Marvin's down special. But I do want to note is while ship is on cooldown, Marvin still gets the up lunge on his up special. He just doesn't call another ship. I do want to note that before I go into his down special. So Marvin's down special he plants the flag. And the flag is kind of goated. So what does the flag do? The flag puts basically the flag debuff on an enemy. While an enemy has the flag debuff, projectiles that are launched near your opponents, as you can see, will home in towards them. So I can plant the flag and shoot my neutral attack away from Shaggy, and they'll home in on him. And I'll go with all of my projectiles as long as they have that flag debuff on them. So that's very, very good. And when I mean all projectiles, I 100% mean all projectiles. So you can kind of throw out ship, have someone in the flag radius, and the rocket will home onto them. And the homing on the rocket is really, really good. And it's as long as they have the flag debuff on them, and as long as they're inside the bubble, they will have that flag debuff on them. As you can see, it grows bigger. Once they get that, once they touch it or they get inside the area radius, they get the flag debuff on them. It stays on them as long as they're inside the bubble, and once they leave, it stays on them a little bit afterwards. So one of the good things to do is if you hit your opponent with up special, just throw out the flag falls down, and just kind of like have your opponent afraid to get hit by rocket because they have the homing flag on them. Very, very good. And like I said, it's all of Marvin's projectiles, so even up air. So you could do things like jab, flag, and shoot up air. And as you can see, like up airs will try and home in on your opponents. Very, very good. And you're like, well, it doesn't really work if you're jumping above your opponents. But the best thing about it is flag knocks upwards. So you could do things like that. So you could like basically like do jab one into flag into up air, and your opponents have to worry about dodging the homing up air. So you do like jab one, flag, up air, kind of like that, and your up air kind of home in on opponents. So it's very, very good for Marvin to have. The flag debuff is absolutely crazy. As you can see, like it lingers, and the homing projectiles do have really, really good homing. And it's very scary for your opponents, and since it works with all projectiles, it even works with Marvin's jab, as you can see right there. So very, very good for Marvin to have. Very good to like in the middle of like 2v2s, put in the middle of the stage and just kind of like set up rocket. You'll see me do that a lot in the matches. You'll see me put flag in the middle of the stage and just set up special, and opponents just have to worry about it, and whoever gets targeted by the rocket has the hope they don't die or get hit by the rocket. So that'll do it for Marvin's down special. Like I say, very good because it makes projectiles home in on the opponent. And it's basically very, very scary when combined with things like up air or combined with things like his up special, which are projectile moves that hit really, really hard and kill. So that'll do it for Marvin, because I think we've covered his aerials, his down attacks, well, his ground attacks, and his specials. Like I say, he's not the best 1v1 character. He's way more fun to play in 2s, but I'll play him in 1v1 so you can kind of see how the neutrals play, how the combos play out. And I'll also play him in 2s so you can see how much more fun he is in 2s. So that'll do it for the Marvin Guide gamers. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.